Welcome back to the adventures of Scam Likely. In the golden hours of the Savanna, Scam Likely was at it again, but this time he had upped his game. He had found a truly colossal piece of rhino dung, a veritable mansion in the beetle world, and beside it, he'd hammered a small hand-painted sign into the earth. Luxury suite for rent. His two new accomplices, Pipsqueak and Grumbles, were helping with the setup. Pipsqueak, a tiny beetle with an oversized acorn cap for a hat, was meticulously arranging a few shiny, discarded bottle caps near the entrance, pretending they were gold coins left by a previous satisfied tenant. Grumbles, a larger, perpetually annoyed beetle, who always wore a slightly wilted leaf on his head, was busy digging small, seemingly important hole next to the suite, occasionally muttering about foundation work. In the background, a safari jeep rumbled to a stop, its human occupants pointing and snapping photos of a distant giraffe. This Scam knew was prime real estate. The human tourists often left behind fascinating treasures, crumbs, bits of shiny wrapper, perhaps even a dropped coin. Scam, perched imperiously on top of the luxury suite, polished his antenna with a flourish. "All right, team," he whispered. "Operation High-End Habitat is a go. Remember the pitch. Unparalleled views of the watering hole. Exclusive access to premium organic nutrients. And for the truly discerning, a unique opportunity for cultural exchange with giants." He gestured grandly toward the unsuspecting giraffe. Just then, a nervous young beetle named Blinky scurried up, his eyes wide. "Scam! Scam! I overheard Brenda the bee talking. She said the rhino made that dung is coming back for its afternoon nap, and rhinos are very particular about their napping spots." Scam didn't even flinch. He simply smiled, a glint in his eye. "Perfect, Blinky. That's exclusive access to a VIP, not a threat. Pipsqueak, more gold coins. Grumbles, make that hole look deeper and more renovated. And Blinky, my friend, you're our new concierge. Your job is to describe the thrilling proximity to wildlife. Emphasize the authentic Savanna experience." As the safari jeep began to drive closer, its occupants craning their necks for a better view of the peculiar beetle setup, Scam puffed out his chest. He knew that with the right presentation, even a rapidly approaching grumpy rhino could be just another feature in his latest greatest scam. "Luxury suite, prime location," he buzzed loud enough for the passing beetles, and even perhaps the human tourists to hear. "Don't miss this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity." The air suddenly began to vibrate. It wasn't the light hum of a beetle wing or the distant rumble of a jeep. It was a heavy, rhythmic thud that made the gold coins' bottle caps rattle against the hard-packed earth. The rhino, a 3-ton behemoth named Barnaby the Bully, has arrived. Barnaby lowered his massive head, his horn casting a shadow over Scam Likely's luxury suite that stretched for miles. He gave a thunderous snort that blew Pipsqueak's acorn hat 3 feet into the air. The panic. "Abort! Abort!" Grumbles hissed, abandoning his foundation work and diving headfirst into a tuft of grass. "I told you we should have stuck to buffalo patties. Rhinos have no appreciation for real estate." Blinky, the concierge, had turned a faint shade of gray and was frozen in place, his little legs shaking. "Scam, he looks like he's going to sit on the penthouse." The pivot. As the rhino began to bend his knee for a dusty wallow, Scam Likely did the unthinkable. He didn't run. Instead, he grabbed 2 shiny foil candy wrappers and began waving them like flags. "Ceased! Stop! Desist!" Scam screamed at the top of his lungs. The rhino paused, one giant eye squinting down at the tiny speck on the dung ball. "Who said that?" Barnaby rumbled, his voice grinding stones. "Scam Likely, Chief Safety Coordinator of the Savanna, High-Stakes Relocation Service," Scam shouted, puffing out his chest. "Sir, I must warn you, this specific patch of earth has been flagged for, subterranean termite instability." The rhino blinked. "Termites? Here?" "Oh, the worst kind. Gluteus maximus termites," Scam lied smoothly, gesturing to the hole the Grumbles had dug. They wait for majestic creatures such as yourself to sit down, and then, bam! They tickle. Unrelentingly, you'll be twitching for a month. The rhino looked at the hole, then back at Scam. He looked genuinely concerned. I hate being tickled, the giant muttered. Precisely, Scam said, sensing victory. Now for a small fee, say the clump of fresh clover you're standing on, I and my elite team will provide continuous tickle surveillance while you sleep. We will guard the perimeter. We'll even polish your hooves with premium organic compound. He patted the dung ball. Barnaby the rhino was impressed. A guard service? Well, that sounds very professional. He stepped off the clover patch, leaving the succulent greens behind. Deal. Wake me if you hear any whispering termites. As the rhino drifted into a snoring slumber a few feet away, Grumbles and Pipsqueak crawled out of the hiding, staring in disbelief at the pile of fresh clover Scam had just earned. You convinced a rhino we're a security firm? Grumbles asked, eyeing the clover. Not just a security firm, Scam said, already slicing a piece of the rhino's dung ball to inspect it for termites. We're a luxury security firm. Now help me move this clover to the burrow, and Pipsqueak, give the rhino's hoof a little buffing. We have to keep up the brand image. By sunset, Scam Likely was the only beetle in the Serengeti with a rhino for a bodyguard and a belly full of premium clover.